Hi, in this video I'm going to show you the different tools that are going to be made available to you in order to study and be successful in Biology 111 Lab. As you go through, you're going to find that all the tests are going to be mostly fill in the blank. So you have to be able to not only know what the part is, but how to spell it correctly without having a list in front of you. So I'm going to take you through a tour of the Blackboard site that you're going to see since you're registered for this class. Everyone's homepage, each faculty member's homepage is going to look a little bit different. So when you get into Blackboard and you click on the Biology 111L link, this homepage will look different for each faculty member. But what you will see, no matter who's teaching it, you will see this link right here called Lab Learning Tools. So what you want to do is you want to click on Lab Learning Tools, and then what you'll see, if you scroll down, you'll see there's going to be tools for each lab throughout the semester. So when you click on, I'll do the first lab. When you click on one of the labs, you'll usually see three folders. One will be videos and podcasts, another one will be about pictures, and the last one will have practice tests as a title. Then you're going to click on each of these folders to show you what's available inside them. So clicking on video and audio podcasts, we see two folders here, and the first one is audio podcasts. What the audio podcasts are is based on whatever their title is, in this case, Abdominal Pelvic Region Podcast. You will listen to the different regions, and what's recommended that you do with these, your faculty member may use them in class, but if you commute or if you walk a lot, what you can do is download these to your MP3 player and you can listen to them over and over again. The idea with these is that if you hear the word, and especially when you repeat the word. So in class, you may hear the word, your faculty member may have you repeat it and point to the location. If you go through this exercise several times, what they have shown is that when you say a word and hear a word, you are more likely to spell it correctly. So this one deals with the abdominal pelvic regions. This one is the organs that you're going to be responsible for learning. If you are in a car a lot, or like I said, go take long walks, stick it on your MP3 player and just listen to it, repeat it. And if you don't have a model in front of you, if you can just visualize where that part or location is, again, that can help you review for the test. So that's the audio podcast. Now the review videos, they will most of the time, not all the time, take you to YouTube. Let me click on one here. They'll take you to YouTube, and you're not going to be able to hear me talk, I don't think, over this. But what this video does is it goes through and reviews all the parts of, in this case, the torso. So what it does is it pretty much, if you miss something in class, you're not sure the location of a part, you can listen to these videos and they will review it for you. And again, you can play these over and over again until you're comfortable with where the parts are located. So it can take care of a lot of questions you may have after you leave the lab. Here's one for directional terms. So those are the videos. You'll see those type of videos for each lab. So let's go back to this page. So we went through videos and podcasts. The next folder you're going to see is pictures and practice worksheets. So this deals with the organs that I was just showing you the video for. So what these are is these are JPEGs, and when you click on one, you'll see a picture. You can print off this picture to have it for review. They are pictures that are of the models that we are using in lab. So these should look pretty familiar to you. They should look pretty familiar to you once you go to lab. So this is an exact picture of our torso with the parts marked. And you'll see here there's two pictures of the torso. The other one looks like that. And then you'll see a key. So if you remember in these pictures, they had lots of letters around them. They may use numbers. I think I usually use letters, but they'll use something, and then here's your key. Okay, here's the key, so you print that off. The key was on purpose done separately from the pictures because you have to be able to identify these parts without looking at a list. So what you should be able to do, let me show you what else is included. Here's a practice worksheet. You can print out this practice worksheet. And you notice in this one the letters don't go in order. Okay, so what you want to do is print this worksheet out and then take this picture and with that worksheet fill in the blanks. Go through each of them and can you identify what the parts are? Now, the first time you do this, the first couple times you do this, you may need to look back in your notes to make sure that you have the correct part. But by the time you get to the test, you should be able to look at this picture or any of the pictures and write down the name of each of these organs without looking at your notes. So it's going to mimic the test. If all you can do is look at this image and look at the key and figure out what they are, that's not going to be enough. So you need to take your memorization skills a step farther. So again, you should be able to look at these models and use the practice sheet. Again, show you the practice sheet. Use the practice sheet, and by looking at things, you should be able to write out what these are without looking at your notes by the time you get to the test. So start out with, okay, I need to look at my notes and fill them out and write them out. But by the time you get to the test, you should be able to do them without your notes. You must almost have to practice writing the terms out. If you can't write them out, or if you don't write them out before the test, you're going to have a moment of panic when you get to the test and there are no choices there. So the goal here is to get you to practice writing out the correct answers. It will help you with your spelling. It will help you when it comes to the test. So that is under pictures and practice worksheets. When you get to the bones and other labs, you'll see there's a lot more of those. The last thing you will see folder under each lab is quizzes and practice tests. With this one, there's a lot of them. These are practice tests that mimic the real test as much as we can. They are going to be fill in the blank practice tests. So let me just show you one. If we go to organ review test, okay, it'll tell. Now these you can take multiple times. These are not going to be part of your grade per se per test. So you get a question like this. It's going to say identify A. Okay, so these are the same pictures you should have seen. All right, you find A and you have to type in the right answer. And yes, you have to spell it correctly or else the Blackboard will grade it, will mark it wrong. And then you just go through each question, identify B, and you write down the answer, type in the answer. So again, these are practice tests. They are as close to a real test as we can get. Again, by the time you get to the test, by the time you get to the actual test, I need to scroll down here and get out of this. Okay. It's going to tell me I didn't take the test, which I didn't, but that's fine. By the time you get to the actual test, you should be able to take each of these tests and get 100% without looking at your notes. We will be asking you to do some of these practice tests for a grade. Some of these tests are worth 30, 40 points. You're not going to get 30 or 40 points for them, but what faculty are going to look at is, did you get a certain percentage on these tests before you come to the next lab? If you're not completing these tests, then you're not really engaged in the class, you're not really participating, and it will be counted against you in terms of attendance. So we want you to use these. We want you to use these to practice, again, as close as we can get to an actual test. So you've got videos that you can watch that can help you review. You've got audio podcasts you can listen to. You have pictures and worksheets that you can fill out to make sure you're learning them. And then you have practice tests, which are going to be very similar, if not the same, as the questions you're going to see on the tests. But for all of these, you have to be able to complete these without looking at your notes by the time you get to the test. Early on, you're going to need to be looking at your notes to complete these. But by the time you get to the test, again, you should be getting these tests correct without looking at your notes, and you should be able to fill out these worksheets without looking for your notes. So again, these are the tools that you have made for you. Again, one for each lab. So you go to lab 2, you got video and audio podcasts to listen to, you got pictures to work on, and you've got practice tests. If you have any questions on how to use these or how to print some of this stuff off, talk to your faculty member and they will be more than happy to help you. So again, this is just a tour through the site. Your grades, most of you will find this out. You can find your grades on Blackboard by clicking here. Again, each faculty member's tool section over here is going to be different, but this one part right here will be on everybody's lab site. Again, if you have any questions, talk to your instructor, and good luck this semester.